Ladies and gentlemen, I was wrong. In the last video, we went over the 4 recent years, which is 2021 all the way up until 2024, taking each of their year-specific champions, giving them a rating out of 10, calculating the average for that specific year, and then seeing which year has the lowest average to then determine which year is actually the worst. A lot of you guys did let me know that most of the ratings were a little bit too low, especially when it came to some of the 2024 champions, other champions as well. But the problem with my ratings was that I heavily favored champions that are stronger on attack as well as defense, and kind of underlooked the champions that aren't really the best when it comes to those two fields. If you didn't watch the last video, I highly recommend you to do so just so that you kind of understand what's going on here. Because what we're gonna be doing in today's one is giving 10 out of 10 ratings for each champion from 2021 all the way up until 2024, except this is all based on Kabam's official data, their website. You see, if we go over to their official website and then click on champions, you'll actually see every champion that has been released into the game. And if you click any of these and scroll all the way down, you'll see that they're given different ratings out of 25. 5 points allocated to these 5 categories, which in my opinion is a much better way to structure your ratings, since this basically accounts for every single avenue in the game, which my tier list sort of failed to account for. In order to give these champions a rating out of 10 with these specific variables, we basically just add these values out of 25, multiply them by 4 so that it's out of 100, divide them by 10, and then if it's, let's say, 6.5 or something, then we say that champion is a 7 out of 10, and if it's a 6.4, we say that champion is a 6 out of 10. But without wasting any more time, let's start off with 2021. Keep in mind that these are Kabam's ratings and not mine whatsoever, and I can already see a sort of outlier there in the distance. Who put, huh? The top rated champions that we have are Kitty Pryde and Strife, which, don't look at me man, even I'm confused at this point. And below them we have Hercules, who I put as a 10 out of 10, but they simply put him below Strife. And then the lower rated champions, the only shocking one is Spider-Man 2099, but it kind of does make sense since this is basically based on the game as a whole. Whether they're strong in terms of dealing damage, whether they have good utility, whether they're a good defender or not, whether they're easy to build and all that stuff. If you want more explanations on how these ratings work, you can pretty much just check out this section that they have on their website, and you can go through this whole list of words. But the average champion rating that we have from Kabam for 2021 is 6.1 out of 10. Yo. What do I even say here? So you're telling me that Atuma is better than Hulkling, better than Scorpion, better than Gallon? Like bro, what? But then again, this is in terms of every avenue of the game, so I guess I kinda have to hear them out. But wow, is this interesting. The lowest rated champions are only a 5 out of 10, which is definitely higher than the ratings that I gave, but I guess it makes sense, though it's kind of funny that Captain Britain is a 5 out of 10. Maybe someone can explain that to me, but eh. Spider-Man Supreme being better than Omega Sentinel and Valkyrie, I just don't get it man. But Kabam's average champion rating for 2022 is 6.5 out of 10, definitely better than the 6.1 of last year. 2023, nah, there's no way man. You're telling me that Atuma, Kitty Pryde, and Strife are better than all of these? Bro, what? In my list, I put Onslaught as a 10 out of 10, which is kinda funny to see that they think he's on the same level as Morbius, Werewolf by Night, I just don't get it, man. And the biggest offender on this list is Kate Bishop. Look at where she is, the same level as Sandman? But considering that she's only good in terms of attack and also long form content, it kind of does make sense, but it's still kind of funny to see, man. The lowest rated champion is a 5 out of 10, being Deathless Guillotine, which does make sense. She's pretty much just a basic champion. And so Kabam's champion rating for 2023 is a 6.6, which has pretty much just been going up and up and up. But now we move on to 2024. Okay, this is definitely interesting. It's kind of funny how 20 of these champions are 7 out of 10s, and the only others that we have are a tier below, which is a 6 out of 10. I do think this is a very solid rating, and I do think the ones that I had as a 6 out of 10 definitely did deserve being a 7 at the very least, but I kind of feel funny that Patriot is a 7 out of 10. The only outliers I see here is Silver Sable and Vision Arcus being at the same tier as Northstar, but yeah. And so Kabam's average champion rating for 2024 is a 6.8 out of 10, and when we look at the years, Kabam thinks that every year they've kept on improving. And I sort of do agree with that, since champions can be useful for many things in this game, as opposed to simply just being an attacker and being a defender. Even though there are some weird ratings that Kabam has, like Strife for example, I still do think these ratings are better than the ones that I gave. The reason why my ratings were so off, especially when compared to these ones, is because of a phenomenon known as BG's brain rot. For a better explanation, I would suggest you go check out Grass MCOC's video on it, because he does go a bit more in depth on what the overall problem is, where it stems from, and why he doesn't want us to keep calling her Captain Mitten. I'll leave the link down in the description, but basically what this is that when you play too much of Battlegrounds, you start seeing champions that can't get less than 40-second clears as worse champions overall, just because they aren't that good in that game mode. It also applies when it comes to defenders, but that's pretty much why those ratings were off. If you think Kabam's ratings are a bit off as well, you can actually go ahead and make your own tier list using the link down in the description. And so if you want to share with me what ratings you think are more appropriate, then please head over to that website, make your own tier list, and then share it with me on Discord, which the link will be down in the description. And if you're a YouTuber, I would suggest making a video out of it because it's a very interesting discussion. Like I mentioned, you will find the links down in the description. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!